Hey cousins, happy Tuesday. Today I am pleading out to Sydney Sweeney. Sydney, please don't take the bait. I know for a fact, allegedly, that Hollywood is trying to force Sydney Sweeney to backpedal on her just standing firm on her values. The thing is that Sydney didn't even make any overtly political statement, but you guys remember when she did the whole jeans campaign saying that she had great genes, being a beautiful blue-eyed white woman. Everyone on the left tried to cancel her and call her a eugenicist, and she was not taking the bait, but now it seems like she might be backpedaling a little bit. So we are going to cover that today, and I'm going to tell you what I think is happening. Y'all know the vibes. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Welcome to Respectfully. So you guys know Sydney Sweeney. She is the drop-dead gorgeous 28-year-old actress. She is well known for TV shows like Handmaid's Tale, Euphoria, more recently White Lotus. And before the whole American Eagle scandal, she actually went viral on SNL. And this is where she became more mainstream than ever, because here you have this drop-dead gorgeous blonde girl, cleavage out, not a care in the world, wasn't pushing for any kind of BLM activism, not trying to parade a rainbow flag, not doing anything cringe, just being hot, just being classical beauty like we used to appreciate in the 80s and 90s and pretty much every decade before that. So Sydney, it was so funny, like the second that Sydney Sweeney just went on TV and was hot and showed off her body in a way that was appealing to men and not trying to cater to women in a way that Sabrina Carpenter does. If you know, you know with that analysis. But Sydney, people immediately looked at her and was like, this is a shift in culture. Her looks and her whole aesthetic is just giving Americana girl next door. And it's a far cry from what we were dealing with like the Calvin Klein ugly actress era. And I'm not even saying ugly to be mean. I'm just saying ugly in the sense that, like, instead of going for what is objectively beautiful, because there is a sense of objectivity when it comes to beauty, we were having to see this BS. We were having to see trannies and the thing is, it's like, it's one thing to have a tranny, because like there's some trannies out there that actually are very aesthetically good looking, but like, what is this? What is this? You have a woman of width, and then you have, I don't know which way the person standing is going. I don't know if that's a trans man or a trans woman or a trans both or a non-binary. Like, I can't tell what's happening there, but it pisses me off. It pisses me off. Then you have situations like this. It's like, it's great to have, you know, because some people immediately like, oh, everybody's got to be ethnic. Well, yeah, there's a lot of forced ethnic just like quotas when it comes to models, but that's not even the problem here. This is not Naomi Campbell. Where's Naomi Campbell? Where's Tyra Banks? Here we have this woman of width again, ginormous, big as a house, up on this billboard, and people were tired of seeing this. And it's like, it's so irritating too how woke was pushing for such poor beauty standards, because it got to the point where you just have these people, they're like, oh, well, I have black skin, so you have to embrace my jacked up teeth and my face full of acne because I love that my back is big. I love that I'm as big as a house, and you have to love that too. And that's what woke society did to us, and that's why we were so excited to see Sydney Sweeney be just unapologetically hot. And it led to her booking this deal, as you guys likely remember, the American Eagle ad, where it was her talking about how her genes were passed down. Do we have that clip?
Genes are passed down
Iconic.
from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color,
just classically sultry,
and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has her genes.
Great. And it was iconic. It was a callback to Brooke Shields. She did an iconic ad similar to this back in, I believe, the 80s, or underage, though, which was crazy looking back on that. But I guess it was a different time, if we want to call it that. But all that to say, after the backlash that Sydney got from this and people trying to say that she was promoting eugenics eugenics because she's blonde with blue eyes and all of that, she refused to apologize. And this is the clip that went viral thereafter.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
Actually, pause really quick. Okay. I feel so bad actually for this journalist. Because depending what side of the media you looked at, and I don't know much about this journalist, but I feel like she really got dragged very aggressively for no reason. It's like, yes, it was her job for her to ask. And if you look at people on the right wing, they're like, oh, she was pulling for the apology. She was trying to force, Sydney to be uncomfortable until she apologized. And then you had the left that was actually dragging her, calling her ugly and calling her, all kind of names, saying that she was just giving softball questions and how dare she, and saying that I even saw people saying that the interviewer here, who's just an average looking woman trying to do journalism, trying to get the rent paid. And you had all these people trying to say that she also was a Nazi. I don't know if you guys were on that side of the internet, but I'm so sorry to this woman. I don't know much about this lady, but she got dragged for no reason. But let's run it back.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself?
Yeah.
Okay. And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I...
Wait, pause. Because here this journalist is again. She's like, girl, I'm trying to help you. She goes, I'm trying to give you a lifeline so you can keep your mortgage paid. You can tell so bad that she's just like, oh my gosh, I've never interviewed someone that had an opportunity to stop being canceled, and she's just going to full send on it. And Sydney's just looking at her like disgusted. If I send you this face, just know I heard what you had to say and I wasn't rocking with it. If I send you this photo, it means, yeah, I said what I said and I stood on it and did. Just like, oh my gosh, I got confronted. I had to give this face to somebody. In fact, quick tangent, Mr. Rodriguez, pull up the camera, please. Pull up your camera. Country Wheel in the back. Oh, yes, we're putting you in the spotlight today. Do you know that your homegirl from church confronted me at an event because I called her Melissa Taylor Greene?
Yes.
Really?
I saw her at a Christmas party this weekend, and yes, she did tell me about that.
She dragged me. So if you guys weren't there for that episode, we were reacting to a debate. This is a tangent. I swear we're going to get back to the main topic here. But I got confronted by this woman that I was calling her Melissa or Marissa Taylor Greene or something like that because I thought she was giving Timu Marjorie Taylor Greene because it was like a debate of white conservatives versus black liberals. And I just thought she was doing too much in the beginning of the clip. Never in my life have I reacted to somebody and they came up and confronted me in person.
Wow, when did this happen? When did she confront you?
This happened like a week or two ago. I was minding my business at this event that was talking about just like policies to fight radical Islam, basically, and talking about the threat of Mamdani. And this woman came up to me, finger in my face, and dragged me down. She read me down. But you know what? I will never come for that lady again. Trust. I will say she taught me good. She taught me real good. She got me together. So I did give her a Sydney Sweeney face, but trust that I would never call that woman MTG again of any of the sort. Sorry to that lady.
Wow, don't do it. Can't do it.
Had to backpedal on that just like Sydney, child. Back to the tea. So Sydney Sweeney, she refused to apologize. And then you pair that in addition to she already had MAGA allegations, largely because there was this birthday party that was, I believe, somebody in her family that she went to. And these images ended up going viral. They had some hats, and I can't read it from here, but the hats don't even actually say Make America Great Again. It's like Make Something Great Again. It's a slogan and like a joke that everybody makes all the time. Like everybody has made a joke at some point of Make Something Great Again. Ever since the whole MAGA movement started. Then you have the one cousin or uncle, whoever that is to her, with the Blue Lives Matter hat. So because she was there, this showed a little bit of her upbringing and showed the fact that Sydney did grow up around some MAGA people. Then you also had the fact that her brother, I actually clocked this on Twitter about the fact that her brother, who's in the military, he had posted some stuff just showing his whole political belief system. Do we have those images as well? Yeah, this is her brother here. And then there's another photo with that tweet. Yeah, so when her brother got an award in the military, he ended up posting that it's them good genes. And it's like, okay, it was showing that he was standing on business. The Sweeney family is giving MAGA. I never said though that it was giving conservative, and I think that's where a lot of people got confused, and we're going to get into that in a second. But it was very much giving MAGA tease, and the fact that like growing up, I actually have a good friend, a really good friend. I'm not going to put her name out there, but she grew up with Sydney, and she said that Sydney was that bully girl that only hung out with the guys when they were kids and in middle school, and that Sydney bullied this girl so bad that she almost got expelled from the middle school. And the reason she was such a bully is because she wanted to be the hot girl around all the guys, and she was one of the bros, and she just did not care about being a girl's girl. She did not care about any of the woke stuff that was even happening when we were all kids. She was always the Sydney Sweeney that we see today, unapologetic, stank face on, and standing on everything that is she has to stand on. Now, the sad day has come where it seems that she has been forced to apologize. So she just did this exclusive interview with People magazine published on December 5th, and she said things of the sort. She first says, "I don't support the views some people chose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true." And a lot of people, first of all, with this first of the three quotes, think that this is her denouncing all the right-wing connection, and also the fact that she's a registered Republican. I don't think that she's denouncing the entire right wing. What I think she is backpedaling on to an extent is people took it too far. People started calling her this Aryan queen, Nazi diva, and trying to make it seem like she was the beacon of radical right-wing extremism, and like she was this ultra pinup Christian conservative, which I don't think anybody sane was saying anything of the sort. I think that people just took it and ran with it. And then, of course, there's the people on the left that the second that you see them having any affiliation to the right wing, they just take you and move you to the furthest. Like, people even try to say that I'm super far right, and I think that's insane because nobody hates me more than the far right anti-Israel crowd. So I think her saying that, I don't see anything that's inherently wrong with it. It wasn't, blatantly an apology, but it was definitely her having to, put out some of the flames. She then goes on in the interview and says, "Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness." Now, or divisiveness, however you say it. Y'all always try to clock me on that, but it's like no matter which way I say it, someone drags me for it. So let's just say divisiveness this time. And this is a lot of people read this and immediately ran to say, oh, this is her sounding like a liberal. This is the liberal handbook. But I think that it's actually smarter than that. And maybe it is not as deep as I think it is. But what I think that this is a masterclass of PR, where she's using left-wing rhetoric, but a right-wing mentality. And here's what I mean by that. So it's a very left-wing rhetoric to be like, oh, like, I don't want to divide people. I just want to love everyone. I don't want to support hate. But the thing is that's actually how right-wing people feel. When you look at how left-wing people actually think and the behavior that they actually do live out, they're very hateful. They're very angry. Look at what happened to Charlie Kirk. They're very much in favor of dividing people. They're very much in favor of segregating people by race. When you really break it down, the right is not the group that's trying to divide people. The right might say, yeah, we like to, keep a sense of community, but that's just a sense of community of people with common sense. But never have I felt like I wasn't allowed in a room of right-wing people because of my, demographic. So when I look at the left, though, the left doesn't really feel that same way. The left is very much like, oh, if you have this opinion or if you look this way, you're automatically not allowed to sit with us, especially if you are a straight Christian white man, then you are just completely exiled from majority of left-wing spaces. So I think that was smart of Sydney. And if you read between the lines there, it's still low-key based of her to say that. It's just she's using the left-wing rhetoric because that's a way to kind of, infiltrate into the Hollywood spaces and have them thinking it's an apology while not actually having to apologize. Very smart of her. She then goes on to say, "In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press, but recently I have come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it, aka rent was due." Rent was due. When I read this, when she literally acknowledges that she never, ever, ever acknowledges press in this capacity, the reason she's doing it this time is you have to read between the lines when it comes to Hollywood stuff. And again, I've told you guys ad nauseum at this point that I'm friends with so many people in PR who agree with everything that we believe in on this show. They're huge fans of PragerU here in Los Angeles. And I talk to them all the time about the fact that when they make their people put out statements like this. They hate it more than anyone, but it's one of those things that they do because Hollywood comes knocking and telling you that rent is due. Now, my theory of what's happening here and the reason why Sydney finally did have to speak out on this is because it was getting to a point where she was having real issues in her career, which is, again, I'm sorry for Sydney because this is, again, the situation that people have to deal with anytime that they have the audacity to step out of the left-wing playbook. And while Sydney never even inherently made a political statement, just her being silent about the things that they wanted her to speak on ended up creating all these tensions for her. So first of all, you have the rumors that her Euphoria co-star Zendaya, who is one of the biggest stars on the planet, Zendaya is a very, very vocal critic of President Trump. So there's a lot of rumors saying that they had a lot of tension. Everybody on the show Euphoria was making a ridiculous amount of money, but Zendaya, who made the most and was the star of the show, it was rumored that she wouldn't even want to do press with Sydney because she was so frustrated with Sydney and the whole situation. So the backlash of that. And then a lot of people are trying to attribute the support that Sydney developed from right-wing audiences to the lack of box office success that she had with some of her recent releases, such as the movie Christie. It was unfortunately a box office flop. I had never even heard of it. The first time I heard of the movie Christie was people talking about the fact that it flopped. So the marketing just was not there. But it had a $1.3 million box office return on a $15 million budget, which literally makes it one of the worst major box office flops ever. Like, it's like that opening weekend is really bad. Like that's a really bad opening score, not gonna hold you. But also her movie Eden that she was recently in flopped. But the thing is that you have to pay attention to is the movie industry in general is flopping. The only movies that are really hitting like that are some of the superhero movies or mostly the movies that are made for kids. If it's not made for kids, not that many people go to movie theaters. If you're watching this, tell me, when was the last time you actually went to a movie theater? People don't want to go because the ticket prices are insane. The ticket prices are like $30 for some of these movies. You go and get popcorn. The popcorn is basically the price of the ticket. It's like Lord help you if you want a Coca-Cola. So it's like the movies, it's so expensive. Why would you spend all that money to go to a movie theater when you could just sit at home and watch it on a streaming service? So the movie industry, like, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of movie theaters that have closed in the last 5 years. And it's really sad to see. Like, I went to my hometown recently for Thanksgiving and both of the movie theaters in my hometown have closed. So you have to drive like 35 minutes, if not 45 minutes, to go to a movie theater if you live in my hometown in Pontiac, Illinois. So I don't think that it's because of Sydney, getting this right-wing fandom that things are flopping. I think things are flopping just because the industry is flopping. And one thing I want to specify too is, like, a lot of people have said that they thought that Sydney was a fraud. And a lot of the people who have reacted to this situation of her kind of having this apology, they're saying that, oh, she was always this feminist and it was a grift and that she was just doing all this to get right-wing support because MAGA is hot and because the patriotic movement is growing. But really, she's just this feminist. But I think what people are confused on is people still, and I talk about this all the time, people get confused. There's a difference between being Republican or MAGA and then being a Christian conservative. Nothing about her gave Christian conservative. She is your hot, blonde, wants to show off her body, likes, limited government, likes low taxes, likes hot dogs on 4th of July, wears red, white, and blue. She's that kind of right-wing girl. She's not the right-wing Christian conservative girl that you're going to see at church on Sunday. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I think a lot of people got confused with that in the first place. So her being a little bit more like pro-feminism, but in the sense of, like, she gives me the vibe, and I've never met the woman, so I'm talking about her like I know her, but in my mind, we're cousins. So my cousin Sydney Sweeney, we look alike. She is the type that she wants to be able to be hot freely. She's the type, she wants to be seen. She's the type that likes feminism in the sense that she's allowed to do what she wants. She doesn't want to be in a burlap sack. She's that type of girl. So I don't think that people are justified in saying that she is a grifter because she has a little bit of feminism in her. I don't think she's this new wave of feminism where she's like trans women are women and what's some of the other BS. Like she's not the type to say all men are pigs. She doesn't think all men are pigs. If that's the case, she's out here rolling with the pigs because she has a new man every other day. And that's no shade. That's her living her life. She's the type of feminist that she's going to date who she wants, go where she wants, wherever she wants. I can respect that. I can respect that. She is not the type of feminist that is going to sit here and be like, respect women, listen to women, wearing a t-shirt saying, listen to all women. No, she would rather wear something that's a little see-through and then pay limited taxes and have limited government. That's the kind of girl Sydney Sweeney strikes me as being. So, verdict of all this to say, I do think Hollywood is forcing her and gaslighting her and telling her that her career is going to be short-lived if she doesn't, win back over the left-wing audience. But I just hope that it stops here. I think if she stops here, there's not too much damage done with her right-wing. Oh, I was like, why did y'all just pull up this dog? I think if it stops here, I think her career still definitely has tons of potential in it. I just don't want her to just start going like overly woke and pretending to be super woke, because that just doesn't strike me as the type of girl that Sydney Sweeney is. And that's all I got to say about that. Y'all let me know what you think, cousins. Do you think her apology was, it was her teetering the line? Do you think she's going to the dark side? What do you think is actually going on here? Let me know in the comments, and I will talk to y'all soon.